Hi, I'm Drew.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to Drewling Samantics.
Beginners, please. That means Drew, stage right. Are you ready? Are you in your initial position?
There we are. Look at that. Rising like a phoenix from the ashes.
There you are, mate. How you been?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. I'm very well. Sorry about that. I was just making myself a fresh cup of coffee, you see. Yes.
Are you feeling okay?
Well, I'm feeling very good. Yes. No, I opened the play this week. I know we're going to get into what we've been doing, but I opened the play this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Drew taking care of the old voce, the old voice, and I'm on coffee.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sam, not caring. So, cheers to you, mate.
Good on you, mate. There you go. Cheers. It's very strong coffee. I will say that.
not my cup of tea, ironically. Anyway,
clever.
But
clever.
So yeah, go on, mate. How have you been? I mean, as you say, open the show and all's going well and happy.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, mate. We had a tech week, so we've been in the theatre. Luckily, we've been able to have the theatre. New Wimbledon Theatre have been very kind to us, and they've given us the theatre space right the way through the week. So rather than just getting on stage for a tech, we've been there 2 or 3 days and been able to get the feel of the place. Looking good, working well, and really enjoying it. Amazing. And seriously, I am just looking after the voice because it's a 3-hander and it's quite word heavy. Yes.
Well, so I'll tell you what then. So we might as well. We have a platform. Do you want to promote it properly? Let's see if we can get some extra tickets sold.
Yes. Invisible Me by Bren Gosling with myself, Philip Gill, and Debbie Christie, 3-hander running at the New Wimbledon Theatre. Studio Theatre, that is New Wimbledon Studio Theatre, from the 3rd to the 11th of September. That's all inclusive, but of course some of those dates won't mean anything now. But we are 3rd to the 11th. We have we've got we are selling well, but we have tickets available. Right. So there we go. But we're being very well. We're sorry, Sam, interrupted you. We are observing COVID. So if people are feeling sort of don't want to be in a small space, we are socially distancing as much as we possibly can, and all restrictions are being taken care of. So yeah, there we are. We're safe and sound, and that's me. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, indeed. I have got nothing of the sort to promote in quite the same way. I do have something coming up, but I'm going to hold off on that one just for now, and I'm gonna.
Okay.
There's a reason, and you actually know the reason I'm not promoting just yet. But we've got things in the pipeline for. But for me this week, you'll never believe it, mate. I finished the audiobook. I've done it. It's complete. The edit is done. It's sent off to Mr. Dobell, the writer. He's going through, checking on everything, making sure that he's happy with it all, and then it will go out live. It will be available to purchase. So I will, of course, be promoting that as soon as it's out there. But in the meantime,
very heavily,
please go out and buy the previous one, people. The Wasteland.
Is there? Dare I ask? Is there going to be a third?
So here's the story. As I sent him the message saying, Andrew, it's all done. It's ready for you to look over. He said, great, brilliant. I'll have a listen and set up number 3 for you. So hit right with it.
Great stuff.
So number 3 should start production very soon.
Nice.
As soon as number 2 is live and available to purchase. But he also informed me, and I hope I'm not giving away his secrets, but he's in the process of writing book number 5. So as you know, and as some of our listeners and watchers may know, I'm actually on the covers of the books. So I'm on the paperbacks as well as doing the voices for the audiobooks. So I'm hoping that means either that he's got another amazing image, which I've not seen yet, for book number 5, really exciting. Or alternatively, he might bring me back in to do another photo shoot, because that would be great as well. So
I excuse me. Were you on the cover? I didn't notice you behind the beautiful scantily clad model on there with you. But yeah.
You
They
are.
are.
Yeah, we're just not going to go into that, mate, because we know where your mind lays, you dirty old git. Anyway.
Oh, how harsh. No, they're not. I have to say they are fantastic images, and I mean, you've done a storming job on them, mate. They sound great. So
Well,
I hope that.
appreciate that, mate. I mean, it comes down a lot to the fact that Andrew, who writes the books, is also an incredible photographer and a wizard when it comes to Photoshop and
Brilliant.
creative editing and things like that. But also the team that were involved, hair and makeup, and the guy that provided all the costumes and the props. It was just a real and as you mentioned, my co-star on the covers, Lydia, we just had a great time shooting all the imagery, and hopefully there will be some more. But yeah, so that's what I've got. What's happened for me this week is finalizing the book and looking on to the next one, I guess. So and I say finalizing. Final is quite an appropriate word, mate, because this is our final episode of this season.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Another Sam Dunning segue for you.
Would you?
No, you're right. Yeah,
else, mate. Would you expect it? But yeah, I mean, I say it's the final. We've obviously got really exciting a couple of best of episodes coming up for everyone again, as we did with season 1. Even bigger and better this season. This season. Yeah, we're still in the same year that we started, which is mind-boggling in itself. I mean,
strange. Yeah.
The fact is, and I think listening back and going back through as we have done, what an incredible change across season 1 and season 2. We've gone from a couple of mates who were basically doing something to keep themselves from going a bit mental, trying to keep a focus on sort of like psychological health and whatever, and just keep in touch and keep happy and keep upbeat, while finding something to do in a time where you couldn't go out and do anything. We couldn't do what we love doing best. We weren't able to work in the same way. And that was obviously the feel through season 1 and sort of giving some insight to people outside of the industry to see how we were affected and what we were doing about it. And then on the flip side, looking at season 2, which obviously we're completing now, and looking at how it was very much, I mean, to coin a phrase you used earlier, rising from the ashes. The fact the industry had almost died a death during lockdowns and scenario, and then to sort of come back and be, right, this is us fighting back. This is what we're going to do. And I guess that opens the floor really for season 3 and onwards, in that now we can really look at the rise and its second coming almost, but also from our perspective, we can give some real behind the scenes stuff and getting back into work as heavily as we've been lucky enough to at this stage. I mean, that'd be really good.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you know, season 1 we were very much in the grips of the unwelcome guest, and season 2 we've seen a couple of false starts because we had that date. Was it? I got it written down there, the 20th of June. It was all going to be lifted. And then that was put off for a month until the 19th of July, and it was lifted. So there were those false starts. And it's interesting talking to, because we've had some fascinating 7 fascinating guests on. And, you know, we heard how they dealt with, you know, the first period of, like you say, complete inactivity and silence. And then we went to these sort of a couple of false starts, but people were still pushing on, still, you know, planning ahead. And I mean, last week's guest, Sam, you know, he spent that whole, you know, Sam Clemens, he spent that period of writing and going back and do his research, everything getting ready for just zipping off. And he said he's got about a dozen projects going on at once. You know, people have grabbed everything like we did at one point. I mean, you've been filming, you've had the book to do, you've got your planned future projects coming up. We're looking forward to Christmas. I've had the, you know, a couple of commercials and bits and pieces. We've done, you know, a dinner theatre. I mean, to open the play and be back on stage again is, you know, this time last year it was like, is that ever going to happen again? Yeah. You know, are theatres ever going to be open again? So that, you know, it's gone from inactivity to slight confusion to now, you know, energy and pushing forward. And, you know, and so that's, I think this second season has seen that transition. It's been very much a transition season,
and I think it's almost sat really logically, weirdly. It's kind of almost fitted in perfectly, because originally the second season was set to sit in line with things opening up again, but as you say, we then had those delays or changes, and actually, despite hitting a date where we did open up, not everything did. I think it was very much we watched that progression, and we watched certain things being able to just go right almost straight back to where they were. We've had a delay, we've had this pause or whatever, but now we're just back to normal. Whereas particularly in our industry, we've seen the fact that it's almost been like right, you've got some freedom, some ability now, but you're going to have to grow into it, and you're still going to have to hit certain milestones and achieve certain things along the way. So season 3 almost looks like it will land at the point where everything is open, albeit still a lot of things will have certain restrictions or certain requirements. But I know we know that there are a few theatres that are set to open this week or next week, I believe. So next week or on from that, but in the very near future, and that should take us up to a point where almost everything, or practically everything, is back to open. And
I mean, sadly,
but
I mean, I think sadly we're going to see some theatres not open again, and some theatre companies not working. That's I think that's going to be the sad part of moving forward. It remains to be seen. And maybe it's something we can take a look at in season 3, is a little bit of what has, things people have got left behind, things that we've lost. But I mean, let's be positive, because, as you say, things are opening up. And it was interesting to note that with the theatre in Wimbledon, they were prepared to sell capacity, but people have gone, actually, we would still like to socially distance. Is this possible? And the space that we're working on said, yeah, we can put extra seating in to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think audiences want to come back, theatres want to open, and I think now there's a good dialogue happening between and people are making it possible. And I think we've seen that from the guests we've had on through this season. People have like David Gray, he's been working the streets, and Rob TV.
Just add that for anyone that might not have seen that episode or listened to.
That's true. That's true.
David Gray's out there working the streets. He is a busker. He is an open air performer. If you're listening, Dave, then. We just clarify for you.
I just yes, thank you for that, Sam. It did come out slightly wrong, but it's everyone is all our guests and ourselves. We've taken this positive step forward, and I think that's kind of like you said about the podcast, we're moving Drewling Samantics forward now. So it's nice to nice to look forward to a third season, which is great, and we've still got the energy to do it. And I don't know, but well, you have, I'll just get some more cushions behind me to hold me up, prop me up for season 3. Yeah. But it is refreshing that that we still feel that energy, and the podcast has served those purposes for us nicely, and I'm hoping for everyone listening and watching that it's serving a purpose, and if nothing else, just to be entertaining, just to
Well, if we can't do that, mate, we've probably chosen the wrong vocation, really. If we can't entertain people,
yeah. Put my foot in it a bit there, didn't I? But
you're doing that today. I think it's about.
I am. I don't know.
I don't know. Reached a point. No, I completely agree. I think it's amazing to look back and see what the podcast. I mean, just on a personal level, what it did for me, being able to, as we've said numerous times, you and I would have been in contact regardless throughout lockdown.
Yeah.
We're very close friends and we speak a lot anyway. But to have this as a project, something to sink our teeth in, something to focus on, was a real motivator throughout times when nothing else was going on. And there was perhaps a bit of me that thought, well, once everything's over, once lockdowns have gone and masks are a thing of the past or whatever, maybe it will just sort of ease off and that'll be it. But this has become such a huge part of my life and something that I look forward to immensely every week, not just because I get to have a laugh with you, but it's something that I can feel I'm part of the creation of. I've made this thing, and something that started as a project to keep me semi-sane and to have something to do has become something that I'm very proud of. I really enjoy doing, and I can see a huge future in doing. So it's certainly not going anywhere in that respect. I wouldn't want it to end for any particular reason. We've mentioned it sort of between ourselves, and perhaps I don't think we've really said, but obviously we've found it not more difficult, but we're now having to manage schedules a lot more rather than going, right, can you Zoom on Tuesday? Are we still in lockdown? Yeah, okay, we'll Zoom on Tuesday. It's now very much a, right, well, I've got a rehearsal for this, or I'm filming this, or I've got an audition here. So we are out and about and doing lots of other things. So fitting it in has become something we've had to manage a bit more. But that's all part of it. That's part of what we've done as a career for a long time. So I think really good.
I agree. I think it's a good energy, and I think that's what I mean, we've had, as I said, we've had 7 great guests on, and they've all got an energy. They've all brought an energy to the interviews and the podcast. We've got an energy now. This whole uplift. I think the energy from the industry and our personal energies and our guests to move on. And I think that's where I would like, and I think we've sort of had a sort of nod to this us between ourselves. I think that's where the podcast, where Drewling Samantics goes next. It's we can bring people, hopefully. I say we can bring. I sound like a messiah or something, but we can enjoy with everyone. An energy, the business opening up. We can get some guests on who are now not planning, not sitting there doing nothing, but actually doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I know we got some great guests planned who will be involved on, great, really good projects. They'll be embroiled in that. They'll be in the middle of that. We'll be in the middle of things. And I think now Drewling Samantics moves to, and I think I'm sort of saying this to like an advert to everyone who's watching and listening, but it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a different program, but it will still have that ethic and that place where it's come from, grounded in that,
Yeah.
But very much like we had a couple of episodes where things, dreams and aspirations. I think we've moved from what we've done and what we've loved into the dreams and aspirations now. I think we're going to take Drewling Samantics in the dreams and aspirations sphere next season.
Yeah. This is it. And also we had a moment where we managed to go out live or sort of live to a show. That's something we definitely want to bring more of in the new season.
Yeah.
As you say, we've got some amazing guests queued up from even more areas within the industry that we haven't touched on yet, or in different sort of directions to those that perhaps we've spoken to before. So we've got some real exciting stuff planned, and I think it's number one, it's testament to the viewers and the listeners that the support we've given has enabled us to keep growing like this, and enabled us to find the want to do more and to grow. But also I think it does show that this has meant a lot to you and I, and beyond the keeping us sane and keeping in contact, it's something that we've created that all of a sudden now is our little baby that's grown. This sounds very coupley. It's getting weird again. Drew. I don't know where I'm going with it. But no, I think it's having worked together a lot before this idea even sort of reared its head. We've always been able to create together, but this is the first time that we've been able to do something that suddenly has huge legs and we'll sort of keep going. So I'm really excited for what the future has to bring for Drewling Samantics. And I guess at the same time, it's a good point to sort of reach out and say that if there's anyone out there that wants to sort of collaborate or has any ideas, we're always open to hear them. And we want this to grow and grow, but we also want the people who have enjoyed and supported us thus far to have an input. So if there are certain things people want to see more of, if there are people out there in the industry, not in the industry, who have something they feel they can bring or can offer, then we want to hear it. And I think we're very lucky that we're in a position where we're able to sort of take that on board, and to go, right, we can speak to people, we can listen to our fans, followers, listeners, viewers, and we can embrace that and do something about it. So as much as we've got great plans and lots of things in the pipeline, I think this is an opportunity for others to step in and go, right, this is what we want to see, this is what we want.
No, it's like I say, we got great energy coming from guests, and we got guests that really want to come on and enjoy coming on. And like you say, any comments, any suggestions, we'll suck those up, because that's great. Yeah. I think that's the whole point now. It's rather than us just pumping things out, it's a two-way conversation now, with people. I think that's what's exciting. That's now we can get out and have live audiences. We can also communicate with our podcast audience as well, which I think is very important. And
as said, we do have lots planned, and we've got, for example, we've got something, hopefully, fingers crossed, something very exciting coming up, where we're going to be able to go out on location and bring a whole new side to something. Again, won't go into it just in case it falls through, because who knows with the climate as it currently is, as much as things are open and things are very much back to work, back to operation, there is always a chance that things will slow down.
There's always a chance. Yeah, there is always a chance.
And let's face it, we've seen it sadly in the industry, as we've had many theatres and many big productions open up, but at the same time, many of them have to stop or completely change direction due to people isolating, due to people, unfortunately, having COVID or whatever. So, I mean, for example, Cinderella was one, wasn't it? Andrew Lloyd Webber's brand new production, which closed immediately when it opened, I think, because of issues with cast members, not issues with cast, because of illness within cast members. Sorry, that sounded awful. Yeah, but that fortunately now is back up and running, and we cross our fingers, touch wood, and do everything positive in the hope that no other productions will be affected. I know many have. Fortunately, many haven't, and will be able to continue. So just lots of positivity there. I mean, I know even there was a show, I don't think it was you and I that was set to do. I think we had, because as people know, we've been back doing our touring dinner theatre comedy shows. And there was one recently I had sent through, and the cast changed, I think, the day before due to someone having to isolate. So these things will still creep up on us. It's getting a lot better now that I think, is it something like 78% of the population are double jabbed, or
something like that now? Yeah, and we're going to have
got the first one or something. So, which is incredible, because it shows that people are trusting the NHS and wanting to move forward and be positive, which is an incredible thing. We just have to hope and pray that things will continue to go from strength to strength, and that people will continue to be sensible. But at the same time, as you were mentioning earlier, people have taken it upon themselves now to do the right thing, even when something isn't a law or isn't legally required. I mean, I don't remember, I could probably count on one hand the number of people I've seen not wearing a mask, perhaps in a small shop, because people still want to be conscious of those around who may still be vulnerable. And I think that's an incredible thing. And we need to keep that going within the industry as well, making sure that people are safe so we can all keep working.
It's one of the things when I was at the Edinburgh Festival, and it was a much smaller, obviously, festival this year. Yeah. But the enthusiasm for people, it was never only a problem. Said, could you pop a mask on? It was like, yeah, no problem. Because people wanted it to happen. There's a great love of the festival and the Fringe Festival. And people were just saying, well, next year, hopefully we won't have to do this. But the whole thing, right, hopefully we won't have to do this, didn't mean that if we did have to do it, they wouldn't come. No. They would still come. And it's that, as I think I said earlier, that hunger for live theatre and people going, yeah, I'll do that because I want to be here. I want to enjoy it. Yeah. It was really heartening. And talking to a few people, a few performers and a few venues there, it was they all went, yeah, we're going to make it work. We want this to happen. And yeah, there's some of them were I mean, I looked into sort of the Pleasance at one of the venues there. Normally that would be, you couldn't even get into the sort of into the courtyard, into the outside. It would be so jammed. This year you could get in easily, and it was I don't want to say empty, but it was sparse. But they were still working. They were still getting great audiences for their shows. People were just being careful. And you think that's so good, you know. So I think if our audiences take it upon themselves to look after, and people in general do, this movement forward in our industry, but in everybody else's industry is you know, it's going to continue. But yeah, I mean, our audiences, you know, that in Wimbledon, they've all, as I say, they've been taking care of themselves and that. Yeah. And, you know, it's good. I mean, I think we've all learned. I mean, it's a little side thing from. I think people have learned that it is important to take care of oneself, even more so now. I see a lot more people, and I hear a lot more people sort of saying, "Well, I'm going on a health regime, or I'm going to go on a diet, or you know, blah blah blah." You know, I think I've certainly gone, okay, yeah, I'm going to have to look after myself a little bit, you know, and keep an eye on things, and certainly eating better, you know. And I shall still keep on baking bread in the slow cooker, you know.
Well, I mean, the world had its week of making banana bread, didn't it? I think everyone had a go when we first were visited by the unwelcome guest, and I think, I mean, I certainly speak for myself when I say I spent a lot of lockdowns eating, because it was something I could do without having to go anywhere, and I quite enjoyed it. I'm paying for it now, at sort of dieting and trying to get back in shape so I can, when I get up on a stage, not look like I've just sort of I'm starring as the Stay Puft Man in a new Ghostbusters movie or something. But yeah, no, it's I think people are very much aware of their health now in a way that perhaps they weren't before, particularly mental health as well. And as you say, I think the desire for people to be back at the theatre, people have realised just what they've missed out on, and we need that support to continue to grow, and people to continue to go, I want to be back at the theatre. Yes, there are certain requirements to do it. A lot of theatres are still enforcing masks or requesting certain things, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big thing to have to worry about when you get the experience and you get to enjoy things. And these small, I was going to say sacrifices. They're not sacrifices. They're minor inconveniences. I mean, if you wear glasses and a mask, then yeah, it's a bit annoying because it fogs up at times. But aside from that, these are small. Like there aren't many things out there to be able to enjoy live theatre or live music or sit in a cinema or do whatever, but to still know that you're being conscientious and thinking about others who perhaps are still vulnerable. I think it's a minor thing to have to do for the grand scheme of things, to save the planet.
Save the planet, save ourselves.
But yeah,
did you notice it was something also I noticed from you know, our guests that we had on, as well as the wider world, but everyone is very, all our guests were in some ways willing to give part of themselves, not only because we had some lovely giveaways and some lovely prizes given away, but all of them are saying, you know, yes, you know, we're there to help people. We want to help people. We want to guide people. We want to, in some cases, teach people, such as Rob and Sam Clemens, because he teaches film, Verona, because she teaches singing and voice and everything. Everyone was very. And I think that is one of the things that's very heartening about our business, our industry, because we saw, as I say, original lockdown, it was horrible. We didn't know what to do. This transition period has seen everybody coming out going, let's all get together. But also, if you need a bit of help, I'll help you. In very much the same way that, you know, Drewling Samantics has helped us get over a period, deal with the transition, and now moving on. That's something I've noticed as well. And particularly, you know, friends of ours in the business and our guests are all sort of like, yeah, we're doing this and we're doing that. Do you want a hand with that? And, you know, so I think that's heartening to see.
Yeah. And I think that is, I think it's something that will continue. I don't think this is just on a whim. I think it's something that people we'll be proud to continue doing. The support, the camaraderie. I think it's certainly here to stay. Not that it wasn't here before, but I think this has just reinforced it and certainly brought it to the forefront and kind of gone, look how we can help one another. Let's keep doing this. Doesn't matter if there's a big global pandemic causing the sort of support, or whether we just continue on beyond. So yeah, I think there have been some positives despite some of the negatives, definitely.
Yeah, I think there's a good feeling of people having your back now, so that's helpful. And I think actually, I mean, that was it. I mean, I think season 2, if we could sum it up in a way, I suppose this season it's been about positivity, hasn't it? It's been about a springboard to the future, which is always handy to have,
Yeah, what a lovely way.
And a springboard also, because I've been taking my swimming lessons as well.
Exactly. So that's something that has grown.
There we are.
Drewling Samantics is your swimming ability.
Yes, it's improving. I'm getting back to them now because we had a break for the summer holidays. So yeah, I'll be back swimming. Once the player's finished. So
come season 3, we'll expect more updates on your road to the Olympics for 2024.
Mate, I'm very happy to do the shows in speedos and goggles, if you like, if that would help.
Yeah, at that point, I think we might need to come off YouTube. Because I mean, we've already got the explicit marker, because now and then we'll drop a naughty word. I don't think anyone wants to see that. I mean, that and on that note, let's move on pretty swiftly. And by move on, I guess I mean sort of end, because as said, this is our last episode, or last new episode, if you like, of the season. We have got the best ofs coming up, which please do check out if you haven't seen every episode of this season, or even if you have listened to them all or watched them all. There'll be some highlights in there that we're sure you may have forgotten, or may spring up and surprise you. So it's definitely worth checking them out. But I guess for one last time then, mate, what have you got coming up?
For the last time in season 2, basically it's the run of the play this week. So yeah, I'm looking forward to just enjoying that, settling in. It is a great play. I'm really enjoying it. So that'll be my week. I of course will be sort of lying on my day bed with an eye mask over my eye and a cup of coffee during the day to rest up for the ardor of the evening. But
of course,
no, I'm looking forward to it, mate. It's going to be a good week running the play, and it's just so nice to be doing a play. Just going to work on the tube and coming home and going, I've done a play tonight. That was
a bit of
so what about you? That's going to be me this week. Your week is
preparations for various different things. Waiting on a couple of dates for the final filming bits.
Yes.
Built to sort of finish that up. As said, the audiobook is done, but I'm expecting volume 3, the transcript for that, to appear in my inbox very soon. So may even get ahead of myself and make a start on that. Preparations for other projects coming up. We've got something hopefully next week, quite an exciting event, which we hope to be able to bring some feedback on, or some stories from in season 3. And I guess season 3 is the big thing, mate. We've got a lot to prep for it, but a lot is already in motion, which is really, really exciting. So
looking forward to that.
So it's really good. So I guess then, mate, cheers is the
cheers
moment. Cheers. Finishing the show, finishing the season, and you haven't even got a bloody beer with you. But
mate, I'm up finishing the season, but I am working. So there you go.
That's very true. To everyone at home, thank you so much for being with us for season 2, and obviously previous to that as well. We really do appreciate everyone's support. Don't miss out next week or the week after, because we've got a couple of special episodes with some highlights and some bits that perhaps you won't remember. Definitely worth tuning into. But other than that, we will see you for season 3 in a few weeks' time. So keep your eyes peeled. There'll be plenty on social media. But thank you all so very much, and we'll see you very soon.
Take care.
See you soon, mate. Take it easy.
See you soon, Sam.
Cheers. Thanks again for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed watching this episode of Drewling Samantics.
If you have, then please consider subscribing to our channel and you'll get notified every time a new video is released. Don't forget, we're also available as audio only. Just search Drewling Samantics in any good podcast app.
Please support us on other social media too. We're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and all our links and handles are on screen now.
We love welcoming new followers and subscribers, so please share with your family and friends and we'll be eternally grateful. Stay safe and we'll see you next time.